That's not true, right? Even for all of us, right? We're not like the blue tick mark people,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I probably have 300 followers. They're all somehow related to me or friends or
You're
whatever,
related to
right?
everybody.
Yeah.
But we all do. We all have,
If I
they're
think
called
about like,
followers, but they're connections, right? We all have them.
You
yeah,
can
and
also
there's,
buy the blue tick mark now, by the way, so you don't
That's
even
right.
have to be, yeah,
you
Yeah.
can,
accepted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you,
you just,
Elon
it's like,
Musk.
yep, $15 a month.
Yeah.
that's it?
Hmm.
Yeah, but to your point, Mary, like even for you, right? Let's say you have 150 people following you. Those people are still watching what you're doing or posting
Yeah.
like, "Oh, where did you go? What did you do?" And I think that's even harder perhaps for
Yeah.
normal people like us posting where our friends are seeing it and they're
Yes.
like, "Oh, this person has such a fun life." Well, they don't know the entire story, right? We're just posting when we are actually doing something interesting.
Yeah, that's the only
90,
time you see my feed blow up, but
yes, 90% of the time we're at home doing shit. We're
yeah.
boring, right? But I think, yeah, we all have a responsibility in terms of what we post.
I
I'm always
feel
wondering
obligated
who's
to put it
watching.
out there every time. I feel like any post that I put out, anything, especially that has to do with like a happy kind of, you know, like a happy life with my kids and my husband and all of this stuff. I feel like I have to put out there that this is just a tiny piece of like the big picture,
Yeah,
that this is not everything. There's so much blood, sweat, and tears that go behind. Like those are just
right.
literally like 5 seconds of maybe an hour worth of tantrum that kind of
Well,
led to
that's what
Yeah,
that,
I
or that followed, right?
like to see.
exactly.
Said influencer who we were talking about earlier with the perfect life. I want to see her fighting with her husband. Like, why wouldn't you show that? Like, that's also
Pockets,
reality.
pockets of Ashanti.
Oshanti.
Yeah, there's no question that there are, I benefit tremendously from many influencers. I mean, I don't even
What's your
shop anymore. Okay. I
oh
literally follow a bunch of people. They tag like, "Hey, this is the link from Amazon or
Yeah.
wherever," right? I benefit from cooking, for example. I follow a lot of influencers who are, like how do you do quick meals or whatever that is. I benefit from that. Cleaning, for example. There are many things like that that I have learned from, like hacks. So
Yeah.
there's definitely a benefit of these people that are like sharing their skills or knowledge with the broader population. But there are times also when I follow other influencers where I'm laying on the couch and I'm not motivated at all and I see what they're doing and I feel like shit.
Yeah.
I legitimately
yeah.
feel like I'm not worthy and I'm not a good parent. Um, and that makes me feel like shit. So I think there is a balance between those two worlds that you have to kind of manage. And, you hear more about people going through depression, the younger generation going through a lot of mental health issues. And a lot of it is because of the influence you
Yeah.
see from not just social media, but even these other platforms like Snapchat and TikTok, where, maybe like you're just seeing a very different world from even when we grew up
Yeah.
where we didn't know a lot of these other things, but now everybody gets to see, a 14-year-old girl wearing Lululemon pants, which I never even bought a pair until I was probably like 30 and was
Yeah.
appalled to spend $100 on a pair of leggings.
Yeah.
And now it's like every kid has it.
Well,
Not every kid, but the ones that can afford it, I
yeah,
should
there's
say.
a staggering stat I heard. I don't remember it. It was something like 60% of children, like adolescents, that are diagnosed with depression is primarily because of social media and the content
Yeah.
that they see. That's ridiculous. 60%, that's so high,
Yeah.
Do
It's
you
right?
guys let
insane.
your
That's,
kids have social media, or will you?
well, there's no worry way around TikTok. because like my daughter doesn't have it on her phone, but she watches all the reels on YouTube,
Yep.
right? And then it's like if I take it all, like I'll be sheltering her. That's a way of like really putting her in a bubble, I think, of just not letting her consume anything like that. Like how I don't think that's realistic.
I mean, Zane is getting to that age. He just got a phone when he turned 11, 11 and a half or so. But he doesn't have any social media right now. But to your point, they have YouTube, so they watch
Okay. Yeah.
similar things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm with you, Mary. Like, I'm not the type of, my kids had iPads. I think my kids both said iPad before they said mom. Um, I am not one of those parents of like no technology. They have been my babysitters for a very long time.
Yes, they have.
And it works for our family. And my kids luckily have never got sucked into the point where I'm like, turn off your iPad, they turn it off. I don't have the
Yeah.
whole fight of, and they know that rule. Like if you do that, it's gone. So yeah, I mean, my kids have always been very engrossed in technology, and I've always allowed it, but
But
they
even
haven't
on
gotten to the social
YouTube,
media.
but
Yeah.
even without social media, like Peppa Pig, for example,
Yeah.
is a little bully. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize this, but my younger one was obsessed with Peppa Pig, and I'm like, haha, so cute, because my oldest watched it all the time. And his behavior started shifting,
Oh,
and I'm just like,
wow.
wait a minute. And so my cousin pointed out, she's like, Peppa Pig's a bully. And she doesn't listen
Huh.
to anybody, and she talks back. And so she's like, maybe you want to switch to like Bluey or something. And
Wow.
And we did that, and it's like it's working. And something like Bluey, 5 minutes. You guys, have you seen it?
I
No.
love Louis.
Yeah, it's like 5 minutes. Every episode is five
Huh.
minutes. They use your imagination. It's like but in a super relevant, like in today's world,
Yeah.
they have iPads or just the little comments that the parents make to each other. Like it's relevant for us as parents and it's
Hmm.
relevant for the kids, but it's changed everything.
They're Azalea is still into Bluey. She'll still see it. Zen is into the whole finger family. Like he
Daddy
goes into that.
finger.
No.
Oh
Wait,
my
that
gosh.
song? The song you're talking about?
That song, and yeah.
Daddy
Hmm.
finger, where are you? Here
Fuad
I am.
made one in Bangla.
We did.
They made one in Bangla. I think Lulu's voice is in
Her
it
voice is
too.
on there, yeah. So
We need to
like
post that.
Yeah.
those ones he'll watch as well. The Bangla rhymes that we made, those he watches. But the finger family, oh my gosh, and he'll just be like, "Femi, Femi,"
Oh my
like,
God.
Really?
and it's just it shocks me to see how such a little person, he knows how to use the remote. He knows how
Oh
what he's
Oh,
yeah.
got to
yes.
do. And I'm much more lenient with Zen, I think, because he's my second, and I'm old with a chronic disease, and I don't have fucking patience.
Yeah.
That I let him do a lot of things that I didn't let Azalea do. So, like seeing him so proficient with the remote, I mean, I'm like, holy crap! Like, what?
They're so little when they start swiping on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Manal used
And
to have
like
a
he
pattern on
knows,
YouTube. Like if you click on one video, they know if you click on that, it'll
Oh
take you
yeah,
to
yeah.
the next
it'll
one.
take you.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And skipping the ads. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
have like I've got YouTube Premium, but on Fuad's account, he still has like the regular one. And Zen knows that he has to skip the ad in order to get to the video. And that just baffles me. That baffles me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I told Azalea that she'll get an like a smartphone when she's in high school. Before that, we'll do just like that regular,
Yeah.
what's it, the flip phone. But I don't know how long. I mean,
Oh.
they all have tablets. She goes on YouTube. But I
Yeah.
think it's social media, particularly like whether it's like TikTok or whether it's Facebook or Instagram, like where I think they can connect with other kids. That's
Yep.
where that's what I'm scared of, because I have seen, especially during
Yes.
the pandemic, like people that I know, kids that I know in my family do like a whole 180 in their personality from
Yeah.
just, it's this doom scrolling, right? Like you're just
Mm-hmm.
consuming so much content, and it's just fucks with your head.
Totally.
Yeah. But I think about like, because Minal, Zane, like they're in this middle school age.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
at that age, they're already so influenced by their peer group,
Yep.
their friends. It doesn't matter what you tell them. You're never going to be cool enough. You're never going to be smart
Yeah.
enough. All of those things. And so I don't know what, like sometimes I should be, I need to practice like not getting into all of it. Like they have to be, for them to learn some responsibility, I think she has to, um, I can't be monitoring everything,
Yeah.
yeah.
but she has to know that I can. If I want to, I will. Um, but otherwise, I don't know like how much, if I control much more, how much she'll learn to discern for herself. I don't know. I don't
Well,
know if
it
that made
goes,
sense, but
I think it goes back to a lot of what we've talked about before with our parents being strict. And then we
yeah.
would go, you go off to college and you rebel and you do things that you would
Hmm.
never have done. And the question is, the way we parent, is it better to be a little bit more free and allow things because we experienced what it felt like when we weren't allowed to do things and everyone else was, right?
Yeah.
And so I wonder if we're also projecting a little bit in terms of we don't want to be like our parents. We want to allow
Yeah.
some of this and be close enough to our kids where they feel comfortable to come to us and say, hey, X, Y, and Z happened, or,
Yes.
you know,
Or I'm in
something
trouble.
something went down on Snapchat. I mean, Snapchat, we're like way older. All we do is like Instagram Reels. Nobody even does that, right? They go on
Right.
TikTok. But Snapchat is very dangerous because, what's happening in high school, middle school, these kids are using Snapchat. They're sending things, and then they're getting caught up in very dangerous situations where the schools get involved, they're getting
Yes.
expelled. It's stupid things like a boy sent a screenshot of a girl saying X, Y, and Z on text or a picture,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it
Mm-hmm.
is a very dangerous space. And that is the one conversation I've had with Zane now that he has a phone is do not put things in writing on text, especially if you think
That's
it's
big.
negative,
Yeah.
It
because you
can
do
get you
not
in trouble.
know who is screenshotting that and sending it to who. Like, do not
Mm-hmm.
get yourself involved in any of that in writing because it is
Mm-hmm.
not, it's just, you just can't trust anybody.
Yeah, that's a good
Wise
point.
words. That's
Yeah.
wise. Yeah. I
Yeah.
Super
remember
wise.
getting myself in trouble when I was, I mean, being in that era of like
Yeah.
being like having internet for the first time. I mean, I don't know if any of you have, but I remember having a boyfriend when I was in college and sending certain photos
Yeah.
to, that were suggestive, right? And then breaking up with that person and then finding out that, his current
Oh.
girlfriend had access to them and saw them. And I
Whoa.
was like freaking out. I remember I like called the police. I like filed one of those, I think you can file a complaint that if these photos were to ever leak, like you're
Yeah.
the only person that has them and like he's going to get in trouble, and I let that
Wow.
person know. I mean,
Oh my
it's
God.
wild. And like when I think about those now, and I think that how stupid could I have been to put myself in that situation where I thought this was okay, right?
Yeah.
And we all do this, right? Like
Yeah.
we'll send photos of us in certain suggestive poses or whatever. We send it to our friends, but we don't know all of these things are floating somewhere,
Yep.
right? And when it's going to come and bite you in the butt,
Mm-hmm.
whether if it's with your employment, whether it's something
Yeah.
else, and it's just
That's,
it's really scary.
yeah, to your point, I think that's what's been really scary is, again, going back to being canceled. I mean, people are being canceled for things they did in college, like
Yes.
30 some years ago, right? These stories of like somebody with a black face or whatever that at the time they
Yes.
had no idea was even inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely is
But it
inappropriate,
comes
but
out.
they didn't know that at the time. And now, 30 years later, their career is over.